Welcome to the Calcutta Race's Christmas Meeting 2021 second day, Monday 13th December 2021 race preview. The first race of the afternoon is the Cradle of the Deep Handicap for horses rated 1 to 26 to be run over a distance of 1200 meters. The first runner we're looking at is number 1, Nandini's Pet. Nandini's Pet has had a couple of starts in this season. First it went over 1100 meters in race number 6, where it finished on 5th behind Rare Bird. In his last start, the one we are looking at in race number 9, Nandini's Pet was travelling in 4th spot, weakened slightly and eventually finished on 5th of 7 runners. The winner here was Ember Glow. Next up, we got number 2, Freebird. Had one start in race number 1 where Freebird was on debut. Was racing in 3rd spot as they entered the home straight, Freebird, and the jockey pushed around, but Freebird did not make any further improvement. Finished on almost 5 lengths from the winner, which was Bemuse. Next up, we got 2 runners. First, we got number 4, Joanna, who had a run in race number 2, where it was racing in 5th spot, was installed as the favourite, but did not have a good showing. Finished on 5th of 6 runners. We also had number 7, X-Fight, who was racing in last spot. Eventually finished on last 30 lengths from the winner, which was Wandering Angel. Joanna finished on almost 18.5 lengths from the winner, Wandering Angel. Next up, we got 2 runners. Number 6, Tahoe. Number 8, Mose. Number 6, Tahoe, who has had a couple of starts, has been second in each of his 2 starts. First, it finished on 2nd behind Wandering Angel in race number 2. In his last start, Tahoe was racing in 4th spot, then made some late gains and finished on 2nd behind Anika, almost 6.25 lengths behind the winner. And Mose, who was travelling in 3rd spot, weakened and finished on 5th, almost 25 lengths from the winner. We move on to the second race of the afternoon, the Theo Handicap for horses rated 21 to 46, rated 1 to 26, eligible to be run over a distance of 1100 meters. The first 2 runners we are looking at, number 1, Rare Bird, and number 3, Rush for Gold. We also have number 4, ASOS, and number 6, Mystic Star. Number 1, Rare Bird, who was travelling in second last spot as they entered the home straight, weaved the passage down the centre and took charge into the last 100 meters and staved off the challenge of UV and won that race. Number 3, Rush for Gold, who was racing in 4th spot, weakened and finished on 6th. We also had number 4, ASOS, who was travelling in 5th spot, made up a place and finished on 4th. And number 6, which is Mystic Star, who was racing in 6th spot, weakened and eventually finished on 8th, behind Rare Bird, almost 9 lengths from the winner. We got number 2, Shivalik Silk. Shivalik Silk has had 4 starts in the monsoon season, has been on board on each of his 4 starts, was a winner in race number 14, where it went over 1100 meters. In his last start in race number 48, Shivalik Silk was travelling in 4th spot, made some late gains towards the inside in the purple and green jacket and finished on 3rd behind Whistleblower, almost 5 3/4 lengths behind the winner. We got number 5, Berluti. Berluti had a couple of starts in the monsoon season. First, it went over 1100 meters in race number 2, where it finished on 5th behind East Side. Next up, in race number 20, the one we are looking at, Berluti was travelling in 11th spot and stayed on in 11th, almost 30 lengths over 30 lengths from the winner, which was Nova. Next up, we got number 7, Mr. Batola Baz, ex-Bemuse, was a winner in its first start in race number 1, where it was travelling in 2nd spot, then made some late gains, took charge into the last 150 meters and won that race, getting the better of Melody by almost half a length. Next up, we got number 8, Sharavati. Sharavati has had one start in this season in race number 3, where it was travelling in 3rd spot, weakened slightly and finished on 4th of 11 runners, almost 7 lengths from the winner, which is Sea Lion. Next up we got number 9, Secret Pearl. Secret Pearl had one start in race number 49, the one we are looking at. Secret Pearl took the turn in third spot, tried to bridge the gap with the runaway leader, which was Chogyal, and eventually finished on second, almost 7.25 lengths behind Chogyal, and Secret Pearl today ridden by Nikhil Naidu. We move on to the third race of the afternoon, the Surely Handicap, for horses rated 41 to 66, rated 21 to 46, eligible to be run over a distance of 1100 meters. We got 4 runners. We're looking at number 1, Harbour Sunrise. Couple of starts for Harbour Sunrise, finished on 7th in race number 10. Then in his last start in race number 15, finished on 9th. We also had number 3, which is Sheer Force. Sheer Force was travelling in second spot, eventually finished on 4th, almost 10 lengths from the winner. We also had number 5, which is the Foolproof. Foolproof missed it break, was racing in last spot, eventually finished on last of 10 runners. We also had number 7, which is Cliffs of Capri. Cliffs of Capri was in a forward position, but then dropped back through the field and finished on 8th of 10 runners. The winner here was Mogul, who won that race in taking style by almost 8 lengths. Next up we got number 2, East Side, the horse of the season in the monsoon season, and East Side had one start in this season, where in race number 10 it was travelling in second spot. When asked for an effort, East Side, on the top screen you can see with the red cap, yellow jacket, was under the whip, but finished on 4th of 7 runners in a close finish behind Dundee Satyagraha, who won that race by almost 2.5 lengths. Next up we got number 4, Resolute. Resolute had 3 starts in the monsoon season, finished on 3rd in each of his 3 starts. First it finished on 3rd behind Galen, next up it finished on 3rd behind Night Secret. In his last start in race number 28, Resolute was travelling in 3rd spot and stayed on in 3rd of 4 runners. The winner here was Justified, who won that race by almost 2.25 lengths, and Resolute finished on 3rd, almost 4.25 lengths behind the winner. Next up we got number 6, Lamarck. Lamarck, after fluttering in the monsoon season with a couple of placed efforts in his first 2 starts, Lamarck first finished on 5th in race number 4, where it finished on 5th behind Camila, who was the eventual 1000 guineas winner. In his last start, Lamarck was racing a little detached from the field, made some late gains and finished on 8th of 11 runners, but was a long way from the winner, almost 17.75 lengths behind Agrami. We move on to the 4th race of the afternoon, the Royal Double Handicap, for horses rated 21 to 46, rated 1 to 26, eligible to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. First we look at number 2, Anika. Anika, after a couple of place efforts in his last start, which is the first run it had on this season, in race number 14, Anika went on a start to finish mission. As they turned for home, Anika kicked away from the field, won that race by almost 6.25 lengths, beating Tahoe. Next up we got Swestado. Swestado was the winner in race number 39 in the monsoon season, where it got the better of Adorinda. In its first start in the monsoon season, Swestado was installed the favourite, was in front, but into the last 200 or so, Swestado, as you can see towards the inside on your top screen in the white and blue jacket, fell back and eventually finished on 7th of 12 runners. The winner here was 3rd Avenue. Next up we got number 4, Amazing Dream. After winning in its debut start in race number 29 in the previous winter season I should say. It had one start in the monsoon season, where it finished on 6th behind Chameleon's Image. In its first start in the winter season this time, it was travelling in 6th spot, eventually finished on 6th of 7 runners behind Ember Glow. Next up we got number 6, Mandolin. Mandolin has had a couple of starts in the monsoon season. First it finished on 6th in race number 33 behind Legendary Striker. In its next start, the one we are looking at in race number 49, Mandolin was travelling in second last spot, but made up some late gains, as you can see, and eventually finished on 3rd behind the winner, which was Chogyal, almost 9.25 lengths behind the winner. Lastly, we got number 7, Melody. Melody had a run in the monsoon season where it finished on 4th behind Frey Beyond. In its first start in the winter track, Melody was in first spot as they entered the home straight, but was challenged late by Mr. Batul Abbas ex Bemuse, and Melody had to settle for second spot, almost half a length from the winner. We move on to the 5th race of the afternoon, the same star handicap for horses rated 61 to 86, rated 41 to 66, eligible to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. The first runner we are looking at is number 1, Roma Victor. Had a couple of starts in the monsoon season. First, it went over 1400 meters in race number 11, where it finished on 3rd after leading the pack for most of the way. In his last start in race number 42, the one we are looking at, Roma Victor was racing in second last spot as they entered the home straight. Didn't really have put a best foot forward, finished on 5th of 6 runners. The winner here was Theo of Cortez, who won that race by almost length and 3/4. Next up, we got the superstar Black Pearl, who's unbeaten in his all-start. The run we are looking at is from the Calcutta Derby, where Black Pearl eventually had to get the measure of Cliffhanger. He did just that and won that race by almost 2 3/4 lengths. Black Pearl has been off the track for a while, but let's wish him all the best with Suraj back in the saddle. Next up, we got number 3, Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger has had one start in this season, where in race number 12, it was racing in second last spot as they entered the home straight and eventually stayed there and finished on 6th of 7 runners. The winner here was Jake, who won that race by a widening margin of 9 3/4 of a length. Next up, we got number 4, Samshir Sword. Samshir Sword was installed as the favourite in its last start, where it was looking for the inside run, but then had to be switched out on the outside. Came up with a late dash and finished on 3rd. The eventual winner was Agrami, who took charge and won that race by a length and 3/4. We move on to the 6th race of the afternoon, the feature race of the day, the Decatan Memorial Calcutta Gold Cup Grade 2 for 3-year-old and over, to be run over a distance of 1600 meters. We got 3 runners we are looking at. First, we got number 1, Consigliere. Consigliere was in front, but then eventually finished on 5th in race number 18. We got number 4, Shivans, who veered out on the extreme outside of the track and eventually won that race by almost 2 lengths. We had number 6, Rainbow Trout. Rainbow Trout was racing in second last spot, but came with a charge down the center and eventually finished on 3rd behind Shivans, almost 2 1/4 lengths behind the winner. Next up, we got number 2, Psychic Force. Couple of starts for Psychic Force in the monsoon season. First, it finished on 7th behind Cavallo Veloce in race number 19 over 1200 meters. In his last start in race number 36, where Psychic Force was travelling in second last spot, stayed on in second last and finished on 5th of 6 runners. The winner here was Awesome One. Next up, we got number 5 and number 7, number 5 New Moon, number 7 Tudor Hall. Number 5 New Moon had one start in the monsoon season over 2000 meters in race number 51, where it was travelling in second last spot and did not make any further improvement, finished in second last spot. The winner here was My Opinion. Number 7 Tudor Hall had a couple of starts. First, it finished on 2nd in race number 23 behind St. Petersburg. In his last start, Theo Hall came with a late run but finished on 2nd behind My Opinion. We move on to the 7th and last race of the day, the Birthday Girl Handicap for horses rated 41 to 66, rated 21 to 46 eligible to be run over a distance of 1600 meters. We got 3 runners we are looking at. Number 1, D-Night Mysore has had a couple of starts. First, it finished on third in race number 10 behind Dundee Satyagraha. In his last start, D-Night Mysore was in third spot, then weakened and finished on fifth behind Agrami. We had number 4, Naughty Oak, who was travelling in 10th spot, weakened further and finished on 11th of 11 runners. Number 7 is the other runner we have, which is Atom. Atom was travelling in 7th spot and stayed on in 7th, almost 11 lengths from the winner, which was Agrami, who won that race by almost length and a 3/4. Next up, we got 2 runners. Number 2, Daring Heart, who was travelling in 5th spot, came up down the centre and took charge and won that race, beating Infinite and Beyond. We also had number 3, Apna Time Aiga, who was a little tardy at the start, then travelled in second last spot at the end of the last spot as the end of the home straight, made some late gains and eventually finished on 5th of 9 runners, almost 4 and a 3/4 lengths behind the winner, which was Daring Heart. Number 5 is Chameleon's Image. Chameleon's Image in race number 46 was racing in 7th spot. Came up on the wide outside on the top screen. You can barely see actually in the blue cap with the orange jacket, and got that race into the last 50 meters, getting the measure of Shivalik Silk by 3 parts of a length. Number 6 is Scarlet Witch. Had one start in this season where it was slow to begin in race number 15, and Scarlet Witch was travelling in 6th spot at the end of the home straight, stayed on in 6th and eventually finished on over 12 lengths from the winner, which was Noble, won that race by almost 8 lengths. Lastly, we got number 8, Ailani. Ailani won a race in race number 8 in the monsoon season that had finished on 2nd behind Sea Sky. In his last start, Ailani was travelling in 4th spot, made some lead gains towards the inside but fell short by a length and a quarter behind the Protector, who was the eventual winner. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. See you at the races all on our YouTube coverage.